Welcome to a new vlog. It has been a while. In fact, how long has it been? A year, which is absolutely crazy. What am I actually doing with my life? What am I doing with my life? I mean, to be fair, I have a full-time job. I make lots of short form content, so I think we can expose me. But anyway, expose me? I think we can excuse me is what I mean. So today, I actually have a very, very, very rare evening where I'm not doing anything. I don't have to go to the gym. I don't have any pole classes, and I also don't have any work to do. I have a little bit of podcast script writing that I want to do, but I have nothing that I need to do. So I actually have an evening of like self-care and chill. So I figured I would actually take the time to pick up my camera and spend the time with you guys, and I'm very, very excited. There are so many updates that I actually need to give you guys. I'm gonna kind of like sprinkle them throughout this video, but obviously the main one is, if you don't follow me on TikTok or Instagram, you might not have seen my shorts, but I've actually moved. So I'm in my first house, and I'm also in my brand new office, if you haven't noticed. The last video I posted on YouTube, I think I did actually film in this office, but anyway, this is my new office, so welcome. I am gonna do an in-depth office tour very, very soon. I'm just waiting for a few more things for the office to arrive, and then I'm gonna film that video, and I'm so excited for that. Today's video is also sponsored by Shark Beauty. I'm actually so excited about this because I've been wanting to explore the tech beauty space for such a long time, because you guys know I love science, I love tech, and I also love beauty. So I'm just so excited that I'm having the chance to explore where these kind of like free areas in my life that I love actually meet. It's currently 25 minutes past 4, and I'm actually going to be finished work pretty soon because I started a little bit earlier because I knew I wanted to film this vlog. So yeah, I'm just going to wrap up a few bits of work. I'm going to push my code, save some of the work that I've done today, and then the last thing that I do every single day before I finish up work is I write a to-do list for the next day, so that when I start work the next day I know exactly what I'm doing. So yeah, let's crack on with the to-do list, and then we can start to chill out. So let's do this. Okay, let me tell you about the sponsor of today's video, Shark Beauty. So today we're talking all about the brand new Shark Cryo Glow Mask.
This has been a total game changer for me because I'm the worst at keeping up with skincare routines and I always forget to repurchase my serums and creams. But with this product, the Cryo Glow, I don't have to worry about any of that. It's just one device that I can use whenever, wherever, and it covers so many skin needs without me needing to buy a ton of products. And the science behind it is pretty cool too. And obviously you guys know me, I'm always going to talk about the science and tech behind these products. So the mask uses different LED lights that each have specific effects. For example, red and infrared LEDs work to help boost collagen production, helping to reduce wrinkles and firm the skin. It also helps to improve texture and smooth out fine lines. If blemishes are more of a concern, the blue LED setting targets bacteria and helps to reduce blemishes and uneven skin tone and skin texture. But one of the coolest things about this mask in particular is that it also has instant chill technology, which is personally one of my favorite features. The mask actually has 3 cooling levels for under eye treatment, keeping your skin cold while the LEDs do their work, and this is really good for like depuffing. So I love using this setting under my eyes in the morning. And as you can see, it has adjustable straps, so you can get a really nice fit to your face. So as always, I'm gonna leave a link to this product down below. I definitely recommend checking it out, or at least reading a little bit more about the science and tech behind it, because it is so cool.
I always like to wear a hoodie when I'm wearing this as well. Then I can put the little remote in the pocket and I can just walk around and like do my chores and stuff. Anyway, so I figured we could actually do a little Q&A while I've got this on my face, because I have a few questions from my Instagram Q&A that I did the other day that I didn't get around to answering. So I figured why not do a little Q&A and my skincare at the exact same time. So the routine that I am going to do is the blemish repair. This is an 8-minute routine, so let's see how many questions we can get through in a... Okay, somebody asked, can I give some tips on how to improve my coding skills? So yes, number 1 is practice, obviously. Keep on practicing. Try and do half an hour every single day, because that way you're going to stay consistent, and consistency leads to progress. Number 2, work on projects that you find interesting, so make them relatable to something that you really enjoy. For example, I really like beauty, so when I wanted to understand more about how AI works, for example, I was looking into an example in the beauty industry. So I was looking at how foundation shade matches work, and I was using them to help me understand AI in general. And when I work like that, it always helps to solidify my knowledge and really help me understand it. And then number 3 is to work on writing dry code. So dry stands for don't repeat yourself. This is one of the things that I found really helped me understand coding more than anything. Research dry code and start putting it into practice. I can do a separate video on that if you're interested, but for the sake of time, let's move on to the next question. But yes, dry code is like the number 1 thing I will say to anyone. Okay, somebody asked, what do I think is the best mouse on the market? By far, Logitech MX Master 3S. I feel like I showed you it earlier in the vlog, but that is my favorite mouse, and if you're going to invest in a mouse, I highly recommend that one. Or you guys know that I also love the Logitech Lift. I mean, any ergonomic mouse is really the way to go, to be honest, because your wrist will thank you later on in life. Okay, somebody asked, what am I PhDing in exactly? So I have already got my PhD, and I specifically worked in the field of bioinformatics and epigenetics. Specifically, I looked at sex differences in epigenetics. I looked at how air pollution influences epigenetics, and also how and why epigenetics differs between individuals in general. For anyone who doesn't know, epigenetics is essentially the study of how things in our environment and the way that we live our lives, so like our lifestyle, how that can influence our DNA. And I've actually done some podcast episodes on epigenetics, so if you're interested in learning more about epigenetics, I will link them in the description down below. And somebody actually also asked what I do now, and I feel like that relates really nicely to that question. So since my PhD, I've been working on applying epigenetics to neurological diseases. So specifically in my first postdocs, I looked at how epigenetics might be involved in ALS, or more commonly known as motor neuron disease. And then now I'm working on Alzheimer's and schizophrenia. So for example, like all of these diseases have cases where we know that there is a certain like genetic mutation, for example, that's causing the disease, but there are other people who have none of the known genetic mutations, and so we're trying to understand if epigenetics might help us to explain why or how they got the disease, and then also how that might contribute to like the progression of the disease over time. I can definitely do like a more in-depth video on that if you guys are interested, but
Okay, somebody asked what is my biggest goal. Also, love your content, keep it up. Thank you so much, I appreciate it. My biggest goal is to grow my podcast. So for any of you guys who don't know, I have a podcast called the 𝚑𝚛𝚎𝚎 podcast. It's a science and tech podcast, and I do it with two of my best friends, Yaz and Taz. I'll put a little picture here. And we actually just filmed season 4, so we're on season 4 already, but each season basically has a different theme. So season 1 was like a journal club theme, season 2 was called the science behind, so we covered the science behind loads of really cool topics, like the science behind 𝚑𝚒𝚗𝚎, the science behind dreams, the science behind love, and things like that. Season 3 was called Exposed, and we basically exposed some really popular sci-fi films and TV series. So we essentially just talked about what scientifically was correct and incorrect in the films, and then also we talked about whether the plot could ever become real life. That was my favourite series, I absolutely loved it. And then our brand new season that comes out in December is called The Origins. So we are basically covering the origins of, again, really popular topics like the origins of AI. So we're talking about like how the hell the field of AI ever started, who started it, what experiments started it, and just kind of taking a look back in time or taking a look back at the history of the field. And I really like the idea of storytelling of science through history, so that's kind of like the theme for that. So yeah, my biggest goal is to grow my podcast and for more people to hear about it. Obviously I'm biased, but I think it's such a fun, different podcast, so if you haven't listened already, then definitely give it a listen. Okay, next up, somebody asked me, did I ever enjoy lab work? So for anyone who doesn't know, I did my undergraduate degree in biomedical science, which was very heavy lab focused. And no, I actually never enjoyed lab work. I enjoyed watching it and I loved watching other people do it. But when it came to actually doing it myself, no, I absolutely hated it because I am just not good at it. I'm bad with like practical things, especially when people are watching me or like assessing me. So I would always just get super nervous and just like drop everything, ruin everything. I don't have a very steady hand because I have really bad wrists, so no, I always hated lab work, to be honest with you. Next question, what programming languages do I use and not? Okay, so I know R programming, Python, and I also know a little bit of Julia and a tiny bit of Java. But to be honest, day to day, in probably the last 2-3 years, I have almost exclusively used R. Just because that's what we really use in bioinformatics, and I absolutely love R. Somebody asked me to please share more about my pole dancing and teacher training. Yeah, so this is something I don't actually really talk about that often, but it actually consumes so much of my life. So I absolutely adore pole dancing. I've been doing it for 3 years now, and actually this weekend I am going to do my instructor training, so I'll be certified to actually teach pole dancing, which I am so excited for because I just genuinely love helping people in like everything I do. Like that's the reason I love content creation so much, because I love helping people. So I'm so excited to begin my instructor training and an instructor journey. As I said, I'm starting it this weekend, and actually for that course I've had to revisit a lot of like anatomy and physiology, and I've actually really enjoyed it because obviously I've been applying it to pole dancing. But yeah, I don't know why I don't really share much of it, to be honest. I think it's because there's still like quite a lot of stigma around pole dancing, pole fitness, which is just really dumb to me. But yeah, I think that's the only reason that I don't. But I'd definitely be up for sharing more of that with you guys, because as I said, it literally consumes so much of my life. Like I probably go to pole 4 or 5 evenings a week, so I go so often. So yeah, I would love to share more of it with you. So if you would like to see, then definitely let me know in the comments, because yeah, I do some crazy stuff sometimes, so I'd love to share it with you. Okay, I am done. Just feels so nice, like I never want to take it off because I actually love the cooling sensation. Now I think I'm going to do 1 hour or so of some podcast script writing before I sit down to chill out for the night. So let's get on with some podcast script writing, and then it's time to chill and probably go to bed. So yeah, let's go.